Zombies, Mount Rushmore, and Halloween are all on this day. Welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is October 31st, 2022. It is the 304th day of the year. You got 61 days left in the year. It is the 44th Monday in the 44th week and the 40th day of fall. There's 51 days left until winter. If today's your birthday, you are a Scorpio. Today is World Cities Day. Now that's not exciting. Today's also Halloween. Let's talk about that. Halloween is thought to have its roots in Christian beliefs and practices. The English word Halloween comes from All Hallows Eve. All Hallows Eve being the evening before the Christian holy days of All Hallows Day, which is All Saints Day. And that happens on November 1st. All Souls Day happens on November 2nd. So All Saints Day and All Hallows Day, whatever you want to call it, is where they just focus on remembering the saints and all that. Then the common folk that have died get their day on November 2nd. Now, even though it's a Christian holiday, a lot of theories are that Halloween's traditions were influenced by Celtic harvest festivals, particularly the Gaelic festival of Samhain. Now, Gaelic words are really hard to pronounce. Some people call it Gaelic. Some people call it Gaelic, but Samhain is actually spelt Samhain. So in case you look up the word and go, that says Samhain, not Samhain. Yeah. These days here in the United States, it's not a religious holiday whatsoever. It includes activities like trick-or-treating, like we know, Halloween costumes, carving pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns, lighting bonfires, now they say bobbing for apples, and playing pranks on people are part of Halloween. I've never bobbed for apples, I don't think, in my life, and maybe scaring people has something to do with it. They also do haunted houses, telling scary stories, and something we used to do in my house, we'd watch a scary movie together. Then the kids got older and they got no time for me. Here in Portland, Oregon, they have a really fun thing to do. There's this old cemetery we have, the Pioneer Cemetery. Virgil Earp from Wyatt Earp, if you remember a couple days back we were talking about him, he's buried there. But they have people dressed up like the person in that grave, and you walk around like a little walking tour and they tell you their story and like it's coming from them, it's actors. It's really cool. They haven't done it because of COVID, but I think it's happening again this year. That one's really iffy, though, here in Oregon because of the rain. All right, let's see what else October 31st has given us. 1895, the strongest earthquake in the Midwestern United States since the 1812 strikes near Charleston, Missouri, causing damage and killing at least 2 people. 1913, the dedication of the Lincoln Highway goes down on this day. This was the first automobile highway that went all the way across the United States. 1941, after 14 years of work, Mount Rushmore is completed. Interesting fact, it's really still not completed. The plans were for it to be a lot different than it is, but they just kind of said, okay, we've gone far enough, let's just end this. They have room for other presidents, and I've always thought they should probably put like Roosevelt on there or something like that. There's really only a handful of presidents that could probably go up there. Everyone's got their opinion on presidents. I mean, all of them have done some good and all of them have done some things that aren't so good. You can go back and forth. It's like playing a chess game. Well, he did this. Well, he also did this. When it's things like that, especially politics, someone always says, well, I think this guy was a good guy because of this. That's how their thing goes. But the people that have a problem with him, they get so much more animated and in depth. Oh, no, he may have stopped World War II, but this man did this, and it was all a big scam, and it was a big conspiracy with Japan to hit Pearl Harbor. It's always just this ongoing thing, and it's weird. All right, moving on. 1943. Now, this is a big one, and it may not seem like much, but during World War II, an F-4U Corsair accomplishes the first successful radar-guided interception by United States Navy or Marine Corps aircraft. This kind of changed the war for us in a lot of different ways. 1956, the Suez Canal. The United Kingdom and France begin bombing Egypt to force the reopening of the Suez Canal. 1961, in the Soviet Union, Joseph Stalin's body is removed from the Lenin's mausoleum, also known as the Lenin Tomb. 1968, Vietnam War, the October surprise. Citing progress in the Paris peace talks, U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson announces that the United States will cease all naval and artillery bombardment of North Vietnam effective November 1st. 2002, a federal grand jury in Houston, Texas indicts former Enron chief financial officer Andrew Fastow on 78 counts of wire fraud, money laundering, conspiracy, and obstruction of justice related to the collapse of his ex-employer, Enron. Now, this, I don't believe in a lot of conspiracies, but I have my own conspiracy. You ever notice extremely rich people never seem to make it to prison? I mean, it's rare that they do. There's been a few that kind of clued me into this, but when Ken Lay, Kenny Boy, whatever the Bushes called him, he was the head of Enron, and Enron collapsed, and it was all kinds of fraud, and all kinds of people went to jail. He was on his way to jail, but he mysteriously died. Jeffrey Epstein, we all know about that story, well connected, and he pushes his own off button after a couple weeks in prison. Same thing with John McAfee. The list goes on. I think they're all living on an island together someplace. 2011, the global population of humans reaches 7 billion. This day is now recognized by the United Nations as the Day of 7 billion. That makes sense. 2014, a test flight of the VS Enterprise, a Virgin Galactic experimental spaceflight test vehicle, suffers a catastrophic in-flight breakup and crashes in the Mojave Desert in California. I don't know about that. A lot of people, they kind of died down, but for a couple years there before the pandemic, they were talking about space tourism and all that stuff, and people have kind of backed away from it, it seems like. I haven't heard much about it in recent years. 2017, a truck drives into a crowd in Lower Manhattan, New York City, killing 8 people. Premiered on October 31st, 2010. This one's very fitting. The Walking Dead. This is an Emmy Award-winning show about a group of survivors in the wake of a zombie apocalypse. The show is based on the comic book series of the same name by Robert Kirkman. This is a very interesting show. I watched it all the time. I'm not a big horror movie guy. I watched a couple during Halloween. It's not my thing. This is a really good show. It's got zombies and stuff in it, but it's really about the struggles of people in a post-apocalyptic world. The show is just ending. This is like its last season. Here we are in 2022, 12 seasons of zombie stuff. Let me rephrase that. 11 seasons, but 12 years of zombie stuff. They also now have 6 spin-offs. There is Fear the Walking Dead, which I think started around 2015. Then in 2021, they had 2 seasons of The Walking Dead World Beyond, which I watched that one. It was okay. Tales of the Walking Dead, that started this last August. Got another one called Dead City that's coming out, and 2 other ones that are unnamed so far. Born on October 31st, 1950, John Candy, lovable comedian from Uncle Buck, The Great Outdoors, Spaceballs, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. He died at the age of 43, sadly. His other films include National Lampoon's Vacation, Rescue Down Under, Cool Runnings, Wagons East, and The Magic 7. Uncle Buck, The Great Outdoors, some of the best movies ever made. He was in Nothing But Trouble, Home Alone. One of my favorites was Delirious. He also was in JFK. Such a great actor, funny guy. Died on October 31st, 2020, we lost Sean Connery, the iconic Scottish actor who starred as secret agent James Bond in 7 films from 1962 to 1983, including Dr. No, From Russia with Love, Goldfinger. He earned an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role in the 1987's gangster flick, The Untouchables. He was also in like Red October, Highlander, The Rock, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He worked as a milkman and a truck driver and was an amateur bodybuilder in his youth. Sean Connery died in his sleep on October 31st, 2020 at the age of 90. His family said he had been unwell for some time, and this was not a surprise. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a productive day, and be nice to each other.